Welcome to Eye on the Eagles. I'm Darien Minor, and we are here with episode 5. We're going to start this episode with Brad. He's our athletic trainer here at Avila. How you doing, Brad?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm good. As an athletic trainer, you have a lot of responsibilities here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you kind of describe like your day-to-day task and like what you have to do?
Yeah, it's kind of a wide spectrum for kind of what I do throughout the day, and especially with COVID going on, morning usually starts with a bunch of screening, making sure everyone gets that in. We kind of get the day prepared for all the different teams, setting them up with time so they can come in. So we keep all the teams separate so they don't, transfer any kind of issues going on now. So with, cold and flu season hitting us, so we don't want that to spread either. And then the fun starts where we get to do, our treatment midday, get everybody in, send off injury reports, and then we got, 2-3 hour practices that, we're present at, and then we do post-practice treatments for anybody that, didn't get to practice or was late to treatment or something that happened during practice. We'll get them in after, so, it's a fun-filled day.
All right, so this is your third year on the job. Compared to previous years, how has COVID affected what you guys do this year? What makes it different?
Honestly, we're just, I think everyone is noticing how, clean that we need to be around here, which is, I think, what we need to keep doing after this anyway. However, just general practices, wear your mask, keep your distance, keep everything clean. Don't swing by the athletic training room if you're starting to feel sick. You just do it over, technology, which is helping us out a lot with that. Not too much different, because we've dealt with sicknesses before. Like, last year with men's basketball, you guys had the flu or something go around, and we dealt with that the exact same way we're dealing with COVID too, where keep your distance, stay home, stay safe, stay healthy.
Yeah. So you guys have a couple new people down there helping you guys out.
Yeah.
Can you kind of talk about how they help you with Jesse with this transition and how they make life easier for you guys?
Yeah, we got 2 great new athletic trainers in Cody and Gary. Jesse was a graduate assistant last year, but he proved his worth and we bumped him up to full time. So we've got 4 of us down there now. It's an interesting time for them getting into the collegiate athletic training life with COVID, because we knew it before. Jesse and I did last year, but coming into this and everything with all these extra steps and have to learn the ins and outs of the job anyway. Just more hands make less work. So we're so grateful to have them. They're just doing a terrific job for us.
And with that being said, what is the most difficult part of you guys' job? What would you say gives you the most trouble or is like most work heavy?
I would say just the fall season in general, because every single team is practicing and scrimmaging or playing right now. So, that's fall, winter, and spring sports that are going. So the biggest issue right now is just not enough time in the day. Especially with COVID going on, because we have to just be a little more precautious with everything. So that's the biggest issue. The communication from the kids has been great about not even just injuries, but also COVID-related symptoms and everything like that. So it's been a lot better than I thought it was going to be this year. So happy about that.
Yeah. Okay, well, Brad, with this being your first time on the show, we have a little segment we like to do with the rapid fire questions. Are you ready to go after it?
Let's do it.
All right, first, what is your favorite color?
Gray.
What's your favorite food?
Steak.
Favorite restaurant?
Grozzo's.
If you were going on vacation, would you rather beaches or mountains?
Give me the mountains.
Favorite holiday?
It's got to be Christmas.
Best dressed trainer on your staff?
Oh, that's me for sure.
What's your favorite candy bar?
Snickers.
Favorite movie?
Dumb and Dumber.
Favorite band / musical performer?
Blink-182.
Favorite TV show?
The Office.
And the last TV show that you've binge watched?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Ted Lasso.
Okay, never heard of it. Might give it a check out.
Apple TV, it's a good one.
All right, cool. Sean's going to be pretty happy with the time of your response. But thank you, Brad, for joining us today. And we'll be back with our next guest on Eye on the Eagles. Welcome back to Eye on the Eagles. I am Darien Minor here with head football coach Marc Benavidez. How you doing, Coach?
Doing good.
This past weekend, you guys had a really good game, beating the Bethany Swedes 41-6, bringing you guys to a record of 2-1. Like I said, you guys had a really good game. Can you kind of touch on some of the really bright spots of that performance?
Yeah, honestly, one of the best things about the game was that we were executing all three phases of the game. It's kind of probably not the typical person to understand, but probably the most proud I am for that entire game was really how our kickoff team performed and some of those special teams units performed. Whenever you can, and it was a windy game, but whenever you can boot the ball, back in their end zone and tackle them inside the 10, inside the 20, it's huge for field position. And, our punt unit, our punter, Riley Fairhurst, had a 70-yard punt. Joey Stark run down the field, stopped the ball at the 1-yard line. I mean, those are things that don't show on the scoreboard, but help out our offense and defense tremendously. One of our defense is doing a great job getting a lot of 3-and-outs, and our offense has the ball, and they've only got 40 yards to score a touchdown. You're going to have a good game. And just seeing that all three phases of the game, the little details, those little things are getting taken care of, that was really the best thing about the entire win. And I mean, again, looking at it, it was definitely a solid win for us.
Yeah, with that being a good win, as a coach, not everything goes right, even in good wins. What are some things that you guys can work on to make sure that we go without losing for the rest of the season?
Yeah, so, number one, we've got a lot of young guys that got reps, fortunately, this past week, and that's something to where the next couple weeks it can be really important for us, making sure those guys can develop and grow and still get to the point to where we can be comfortable with them as coaches on the field, get a lot more playing time. I think I mentioned this last week or the week before, just looking at our defensive backs, potentially 4 freshmen starting. That's not easy on those guys whatsoever, especially when we're going to start hitting some teams here, are going to throw the ball quite a bit. But just speaking of those DBs, for an example, going against a team that a couple weeks ago threw for a ton of yards and seeing that they did an amazing job was very, very, very great. Looking at the first half, I think we kind of really transitioned into that third quarter, having a huge third quarter, really propelled us obviously for a big score. But in the first half, we did struggle at times. There's definitely stuff there from an execution standpoint on offense we didn't quite get done. We thought we could have scored a few more points in that second quarter, but it's things that we can all fix. From a coaching standpoint, certain ways we had motions and shifts going on, how we're substituting guys, and obviously our players simply executing certain plays and making the correct read. It's something that simply just takes reps, and with that really being our third game, it's something that takes a little bit of time to get down.
Yeah, but with those young guys and just the team in general, these past couple of weeks, you've had some guys put out some stellar performances. How much easier does it make on the coaching staff when those guys can go out there and make those plays?
Oh, it's significantly easier on a coaching staff. At the end of the day, we have the saying quite a bit, players are the ones that win the games. You got a player out there that's making a bunch of touchdowns, scoring a bunch of touchdowns, making a bunch of catches, making a bunch of huge tackles, forcing turnovers, whatever. They're going to win the games for us. I think it's us as coaches are the ones that could potentially lose games. So make sure we do what we can to put our players in a position to where they can get out there, get the job done, execute, and win it for us. And so having, for an example, Nick Furlow be Defense Player of the Week nationally last week, having some guys score a bunch of touchdowns, make some big plays, the amount of interceptions we had this past week, it just makes my job as a coach significantly easier.
Unfortunately, this upcoming week's game against Ottawa, our homecoming game, got postponed. Can you kind of talk about how tough it is when you've been prepared for something, or just how flexible the season is compared to a normal football season?
Yes, for sure. Obviously it's very disappointing knowing we can't play Ottawa. Our guys were very excited simply just to have a home game more than anything, since we've only had away games so far. For coaches, it's also frustrating. We generally start our game plans a week ahead. And so Ottawa, they had only played one game. We had all their film broken down, kind of had a base game plan already as of last Wednesday. And so, like, we did a lot of work that was probably unnecessary, obviously not playing that game, but it's just part of the profession, have to deal with it. In terms of the schedule itself, something we've communicated with our guys really since camp was that we have to have the understanding it's going to be a fluid schedule. Day by day, week by week, opponent by opponent, things could change. And something that's going to be really important for us here on out, not having Ottawa as an opponent this weekend, is understanding any given week our opponent could potentially change, and we just have to be focused, be prepared, execute, worry about ourselves more than anything, and be prepared to get the job done on a Saturday. Whether it's playing Ottawa, whether it's playing St. Mary's, another team we had to postpone, or a future opponent, we've got to be prepared for whoever.
All right, well, thank you, Coach. I know we can't wait to see you guys back out on the football field, get some more wins, and hopefully it's that home game we are all looking forward to. Welcome back to the show for our next interview with head volleyball coach Eric Majors. How you been, Coach?
Doing really well.
It's been a little bit since I got to talk to you.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've even had a game, so.
Yeah. Before we get the how-tos for this week's matchup, this will be you guys' first home game. And we know that this isn't really a normal season, so have you kind of noticed a difference in like the spark in practice? Or are the ladies excited for this?
I think so. We're still getting back into the groove after being gone for 2 weeks from our COVID. We've had 4 practices. So I think though we're kind of handling it just as another game. I think that day though, the adrenaline's going to be pretty high, and you're going to definitely see a difference in energy.
Yeah, like as you mentioned, you guys have been out for a while. How hard is it for you as a coach to kind of regroup after missing that time and focus back up on what you guys have to get done?
Well, the first day you have to be very forgiving, because it's not gonna, the odds of you playing well that first day practice back is so slim. So you just work, you look at the positives, and then each day you just expect maybe like a 20% improvement, and where you're hoping you're back into the groove by the 3rd or 4th day.
So you guys have a tough opponent coming up, Tabor. How do you guys combat all of what you had to do and come out with a win in that game?
So Tabor is a pretty physical team, tall team. I think they've maybe won 4 or 5 in a row. So definitely they've got some hitters that can really bring it. So the key for us though is that we just have to do what we do. We have to run our offense the way that we run it. We know that when we are in system and we're doing what we need to do, it's really difficult to contain us. And so it should be a dogfight with both sides. So I'm excited about this match. I think it's a big, important match for us.
Yeah, as we've seen, your girls don't really give up without a fight. So hopefully we can come out with that W. Thank you for that episode of Eye of the Eagles that is sponsored by J.M. Fay Construction Company. We will see you next time. Go Eagles.